Okay, so first things first, this is not the phone I normally record on, so it might get a little grainy and it might be a little weird with the sound. Hold on, let me make sure I did this shit right. Okay, but your girl just got back from the J. Cole concert. Was that first part? Hold on. I'm not re-recording, so y'all are just gonna see all of my mistakes. I had to go to the laundromat after the concert, so yeah, I was not re-recording this. Anyway, I went to the opening night of J. Cole's concert. I did not know it was opening night. I honestly thought the concert was already going. So yes, it was a time. A time was to be had. A time was time. So I've been a fan of J. Cole since I was in high school. He has said a couple things over his career that has made me question whether I want to continue to be a fan. Some of them have recently been said. However, music-wise, I do like him. I will say his stage presence as a whole has improved. Now, he was one of my first concerts that I ever saw whenever I became an adult. So, like, that was my very first adult concert. Like, when you're a kid, concerts are a little bit different. I went to 2 concerts when I was a kid, but like as an adult, he was my very first adult concert. So his stage presence from then, mind you, he had a 360 stage, so like that's a bit of a different type of environment because you can interact with the crowd in a very different way. I saw him in Seattle. I saw him in Charlotte the opening night. Like I said, I did not know it was opening night. I was very much just like, oh, this is gonna be an experience because I've never been to an opening night. Actually, I think I accidentally went to Beyonce's opening night too. I honestly thought her tour also had already started. So that was like 2 mistakes I made. But so I will say, like, the opening of his show, I thought it was very wholesome how he opened his show. It definitely resembled Jay-Z's opening of his show. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but that was like a cool kind of resemblance scene. So he came from Rock Nation. I don't know if Dreamville's under Rock Nation. I don't dig that deep. I'm not finna lie. Like, I'm not one of those type fans. I am more so a enjoyer of the music in which he makes. So yeah, the actual concert itself was a great experience. I will say that. He is very humble about himself. People were yelling encore. The crowd was like on the different sides of yelling his name. It was just it was a vibe, bitch. It was a fucking vibe, bitch. I was in that bitch. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know. Because like I said, I saw him in Seattle. That's a very different demographic than what Charlotte is. So Charlotte being closer to his home, which is Fayetteville, it is a very different atmosphere. They had people from Greensboro, they had people from Fayetteville, they had people from Raleigh-Durham area. I think he actually does have a show in Raleigh. I'm not really sure. Like, it was different people from all over North Carolina that came to the opening show, which I thought was like really fucking amazing because he has shows in a lot of different spots. I know at least he has a show in Fayetteville and Raleigh. That much I do know. I don't know if there's a place for him to have a show in Greensboro. I don't think there is. But so, and I'm sorry, I only have my voice because like I was just kind of getting over like having a sore throat. That's the only reason I have a voice, because normally when I leave a concert from a person that I haven't listened to for that long, I don't have a voice. Like when I left Beyonce's concert, I barely had a voice. Barely had a fucking voice. I was just like, God damn, it's rough making this video. That's why I was making so many mistakes. I was like, I ain't got the voice for this. But because my throat was sore, like I really reserved myself to really just enjoy the atmosphere of the concert. So I will say like it's actually different experiencing a concert when you're just enjoying the atmosphere versus like being fully immersed. I actually teared up a couple times because I was like, damn, people really do like, as much as you would think, I don't know how to say this. If you focus solely on what the internet has to say about an artist, you would think like people really don't fuck with an artist. But like when you actually show up and show your face at their concerts, that's the wrong wording. But you get what I'm trying to say. Like, and you show up at their concerts, you really actually do see like people do fuck with them. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Now, mind you, I went to this concert simply because I have a feeling like he's not going to make any music for a long time. If he does make music again, it's going to be features and stuff like that. Or he might release like stuff that he has had in his vault. So the actual backstory of this album, I actually do like it. Because I didn't know what was the difference between the disc 29 and disc 39. I will say that. And he does highlight, like, he knows it's a long ass fucking album. He does say that multiple times. Like, if you did not make it to this part, I know it's a long ass fucking album. I will say, like, that album came out, it took me 2 weeks to listen to the whole album because I was like, God damn, this bitch is long as fuck. Like, I don't listen to the entirety of Chris Brown's albums. I actually haven't listened to the entirety of a Chris Brown album since what's the one with the purple alien on it? That one. Yeah. So like when it comes to long albums, it takes me a minute. I'm not gonna lie. I still have not listened to all of Drake's 3 albums that he dropped. And this has been out for a minute. But I do like that he acknowledges like this is a long fucking album. Now, like I said, I'm a fan of his music, but I'm not like a diehard J. Cole fan like I used to be when I was growing up. As you grow older, I've noticed that your music taste changes, and not only does your music taste change, the way in which the artists that you once follow, their actual development of their music changes. I don't dislike anything that he's released, but I have noticed that when he goes in certain directions, I have grown away from that, and it made me a little bit sad because I was like, damn, like I was a student in high school and I was fucking with all of your shit, and now as I'm at the age of 30, I'm not fucking with your music as much as I used to. Like I could listen to an album from beginning to end with no skips. There's like times where I hear a beat, and this album is an album that I mostly know by beats. I will say that. Lyrics I understand, like lyrics I get it, but when it comes to like the actual beats, I know there are beats that I like and there are beats that's like, all right, this was an okay beat, and I hate to do it like that because when it comes down to an artist such as artists, especially in the rap genre, their lyricism is what carries them a long way, and I will say his lyricism has not gotten worse. That much I will say. With time, things do improve, and his lyricism has gotten better. His actual stage presence has gotten better. I saw him back in 2017, 2018. I don't know when the Forest Hill Drives. Was it Forest Hill Drive? Yeah, I don't know when the Forest Hill Drive. Whichever album he was doing the jumpsuit for. I'm pretty sure that was Forest Hill Drive. I don't know when that tour was exactly, but I know that was like the last time I saw him, because I saw a couple of other artists. I cannot say who the opening act was though. I cannot say that. Your girl showed up late. I had to get sleep. I had to get some sleep for real. I had to work earlier that day. I got off at 8 a.m. Your girl needed sleep. I was tired of showing up to concerts with no fucking sleep. It was getting redundant. But I will say that whoever the opening act was, I feel like it was either Bass or Cause. It was somebody from Dreamville. I do know that much. So he does have an opening act. The show, if you're in the Charlotte area and you're trying to go to the show tomorrow, like I will say the tickets do become reasonably priced, because where I was at the top and it was like $100 some, but like even the tickets at the bottom became more reasonably priced the day of, and I was actually surprised because I was like, damn, I could have got the tickets that I originally wanted, but they were overpriced the day I bought my ticket. So yeah, I was like, I'm not paying this shit. But I will say, as like the time progresses, if you want to go to the Charlotte show tomorrow, like bitch, buy that fucking ticket. They do get cheaper. I was being impatient. I actually got a little nervous that it was gonna get sold out. And this is gonna be a long one, because like this is actually an artist that I've listened to for a long time, and I very much enjoyed the crowd presence. There were people near me who came from Fayetteville. They knew bar for bar, word for word, every fucking song. And I was like, damn, like, oh my fucking gosh, like this is so. I wasn't in awe, I guess to say, but I was just like, I was admired. It was admiration, most definitely, but it was so fucking cute to me also. Like, I hate to call grown-ass people cute, but it was just like, I don't know the proper wording to say, but I was like, oh my fucking gosh, like, I'm enjoying this wholeheartedly. And I think to my right, the guys are funny whenever they're listening to music, because they just like do this bob. But the guys to the right of me, they knew like bar for bar every word. Like I said, I did not know bar for bar every word of this one. I knew songs that I personally liked. He did not perform songs that I personally liked, but he did perform songs that were definitely like title tracks from the album, and he definitely performed songs that were is relatable the word I'm looking for? They hit home. That's the word I'm looking for. They definitely hit home. Like, if you're in a specific situation, or if you're in a certain situation, they definitely hit home. And that's what I've always enjoyed about him. He has songs that can definitely hit home, or they're easily relatable too. That is the humbleness in which I've always liked about him. That is why I've liked him as an artist for so long, because he keeps a level of humbleness to him. I don't even know another way to say it, basically. Okay, so with that being said about the actual album itself, he does perform the hits, bitch. He doesn't perform all the hits, but he performs the hits. And I like it. He did a mashup, he did a mashup, a crossover. My brain's braining, but it's not braining right now. He did a mashup, a crossover that I was like, nah, bitch. Excuse me. I was like, nah, bitch. Like, oh my gosh. I was really excited for that one when I realized what the crossover was. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I say he performs like 10 of his like key hits from each album, and then he goes all the way back to right before he went from Young Simba to J. Cole. I was very much happy about that one. I was like, bitch, now you went into the mixtapes. Oh my fucking god. It was when he said, he was like, this is something I never thought I'd perform on stage. I was like, okay, you're going to the mixtape. He's like, which mixtape song? I'm trying not to reveal the track list, because there's people who actually like do that shit, and I'm not gonna get it in order. order. And I don't like being out of order. Especially when it comes to something as key as that. But I will say, if you've listened to Born Center, if you listen to 2014 Force Hill Drives, if you've listened to the warm up, if you've listened to, he didn't perform anything from KOD. What actually surprised me though is that he did not perform anything from Dreamville. He didn't perform from anything from any of the Dreamville albums, and that actually made me a little bit sad. I would not lie. I really wanted to hear something from either one of the Dreamville projects, but I didn't. Now, I will say, I think in the pre-show, like the opening act, they do perform stuff from that specific album. Not Dreamville 2, but I'm gonna call it Dreamville 2. Not Dreamville 2, but Dreamville 1. I do know I heard some things from that album. But either way, I was a little bit sad. I actually wanted to hear that part. I was like, this half of my face is blacked the fuck out. But I can't do anything about that because I'm in the car. But so yes, I was a little bit sad about that. But overall, the song choices in which he picks, he did perform one song which I wanted to hear, was Love Yours. I like hearing Love Yours the very first time, and I definitely loved hearing it this time around because it is a song that very much hits to my heart, because people get very especially in the age of social media, people get so consumed in seeing what other people have and lose touch with themselves, and they lose touch with what's right in front of them. You have to enjoy not only the life that you have, but you also have to enjoy what is right in front of you before you can move up to that next level. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. You have to appreciate what you currently have. Like, I appreciate the car that I have. I appreciate the job that I have. I appreciate the opportunity and the ability. Not the abilities. Yes, I do actually appreciate the abilities, but the current life that I have, because it could definitely much be worse. It could definitely much be worse. But not only that, people don't appreciate what they have, and so when they move up to the next level, they're always constantly chasing something. You're never going to be happy with what you're going forward with until you appreciate what you currently have. That's the only reason why I like that song. My bad, y'all. I did not mean to do that. Overall, though, I had a time. I wish I had like my full voice, and I wish I didn't have like that little scratch in my throat, so I could have like had all the energy that I wanted to have. But like, things happen. Things happen. And so I would say these are the things that I noticed the most. I don't know if this is intentional. There is a backdrop. I don't know the backdrop meaning. I did not do research before this. So there's a backdrop that he has. He does have the car. That one, I was like, oh, I like that touch. Like, that's the way in which you connected with your friends. You brought that back together. I enjoyed that piece. I enjoyed that element a lot. There's a building though that he has. He also highlights art. He also highlights an artist from Greensboro, North Carolina. I cannot remember her name right now. Her voice is beautiful though. He also highlights many artists within North Carolina. And he also references artists from the times in which he grew up in. So like, he still very much uses the influence of Outkast within his songs. He still very much uses the influence of older artists in which he was growing up listening to, and I did enjoy that because he definitely has an Outkast influence in his music still. He definitely has an influence of Jay-Z in his music still. He definitely has influences of people from North and South Carolina in his music still. And that is very much an admirable thing, because like, a lot of people come from an area and they kind of forget like to reference the people in which inspired them, or they just lose touch with what inspired them in general. I won't say he's stagnant. I will definitely say like, he's never going to let people forget like, hey, this is where I'm from, this is what I rep, things like that. And I'll say like, he kind of reps Fayetteville like people rep New York. I'm not even gonna lie. The way people rep New York, especially like the borough in which they grew up in, is the way he reps Fayetteville. And that's actually an admirable thing. Like, as long as I've listened to him, he's never not said anything about Fayetteville. Yeah, he's never not said anything about Fayetteville. And that's actually very admirable. And I'm sorry, I have a stuffy nose. Like, I usually do have more energy when I'm making these videos, but like, it's not with me today. I'm so sorry. And I will also say like, fan presence. First of all, bitch. I seen some women, I was like, God damn. Arizona, not like goddamn, like they was ugly. Goddamn, they was pretty. But not only were they pretty, they were thick as fuck. I was like, God damn. Crazy. Anyway, but not only that, it was, you know, when you go out into a city, like I go to Charlotte a lot. I have stuff to do in Charlotte a lot. So like, I see people from Charlotte all the time. I don't see people like this in Charlotte all the time. I was like, bro, I never knew these type of people were here. Like, not saying like everyone I see in Charlotte is ugly. I see pretty girls all the time whenever I'm driving and stuff like that. And I see attractive people all the time. But these were like a different level of attractive. I was just like, damn, this is crazy. Crazy. But yeah, I just thought I highlight that part when it comes to fans. And the fan interaction. I think I actually enjoyed the fan interaction more than I actually enjoyed just seeing all the beautiful people. I was just like, damn, these people actually know how to like enjoy a concert. That shit was nice. And I didn't see that many phones. That was like my favorite part. Normally when I go to a concert and I look into the crowd, all I see is a bunch of fucking lights or a bunch of phones and shit like that. Now, people could have very much had their phones out. I did not see that many phones. I don't record concerts whenever I'm there. Like, I want to enjoy the moment while I'm in there. I don't want to enjoy the moment through my phone. I don't know. I did it when I went to my very first concert, very first J. Cole concert, and I was like, I don't enjoy this. Like, I'm not enjoying recording this moment through the phone. So, like, every concert after this, I'm just not going to use my fucking phone. And I've enjoyed the concert 10 times more. When I looked out across the crowd, I did not see that many phones. That shit actually made me happy. Because it reminded me of when I went to my very first concert as a kid, and there were no fucking phones to be seen in the crowd. Motherfuckers people were just enjoying the time of being in the moment. And I was just like, oh my fucking gosh, like, people are truly in this moment, and I'm loving that. Overall, opening day, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Charlotte showed up and showed out. The energy was great. The environment was great. He has improved overall. I would hope, like, I was going to be sad if he didn't improve overall in performance. He has improved with time. There's artists that you see that they decline with time. He has improved with time. His stage presence is much better. His overall control is much better. It's just nice. I don't know. Something about seeing like something that may be the very end of someone's career is just, it may not be. But if it is, I'm very much glad that I got to experience it. And I'm very much glad that I went out the house tonight, because I almost didn't go. I almost just said fuck it. So I was on my way there and I was like, I don't feel like going anymore. But I am so much very happy that I did go, because yeah, I had a great time. I think out of all the songs that he played, I didn't know one. Yeah, and that's just because it was about couples. I'm single. I wasn't trying to be sad. It was a cute song though. I'll give it credit. Like, listening to it live, I was like, okay, so it's not that bad. It was just like in the beginning, it was like, no, I'm not fucking with it. It was a cute song though. I enjoyed it.